There are a few phrases in the New Testament as beautiful and hopeful as this I have just read. Quote, "Come to me, you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." End quote. However, there are also few phrases that cause so many to confusion, so difficult to understand in the sense in which Jesus Christ pronounced them. First, because we don't understand or we don't want to understand what exactly the Lord said. This is not a political promise. Politicians, especially at the election time, always promise everything, and then they themselves don't fulfill it. And they have the audacity to say, well, they were electoral promises. Even so, voters again and again fall into the trap. Jesus is not a politician. He's not making an electoral promise. He's talking about something real. One of his promises, along with that of forgiveness of sins, and that he will take us to heaven if we died in grace. Quote, "Come to me, you who are weary and burdened, and I will rest you." End quote. But I repeat, it must be understood as the Lord said it, because some do not understand in that way, and that comes frustration. He says, "I will relieve you." To relieve means to make something lighter, whatever it is, to make something more bearable, but it doesn't mean to take something away. Relief is the what it used to cost you 10, now cost you 5 or 4 or 8, but it still costs you. Relief is not the removal, in this case, of the burden, of the problem. It is the lessening of the problem. Therefore, when some people understand this promise of the Lord as meaning that by praying the Lord will cure your all diseases, will make you rich, will make you eternally young, etc., etc., and then feel disappointed, it is because they had expect something that Jesus never promised. The Lord never said that His followers, or those who prayed to Him, would not have problems in life. Those who listened to Him knew perfectly while the persecution was upon them, and the harassment that Jesus suffered, which ended up leading Him to the cross, was there, always, continually, with those permanent polemics with the Pharisees. No one was deceived. Why, then, should we be deceived? Relief is always produced. Jesus Christ does not lie. What happens is that we would like not to be relief, but suppression, and that the problem will have disappeared completely. That is not what Jesus has promised. This, by all means, is not the hardest part to understand. The hardest part comes now, because once Jesus says, "Come to me, you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you relief," He adds something strange and seemingly continually. He says, "Take my yoke upon you, and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble of your heart, and you will find rest, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." A person who is in trouble, who is tired and burdened, cannot take a yoke, an extra burden. If Jesus promised relief, how is it that He then says that we must accept the burden? Relief means that He takes away a part of the burden, but since He then says, you have to accept a new burden, which is His burden, that is what the difficulty lies in the understanding this meaning, what Jesus meant by this phrase. Let us look at it in another way. I set an example. A woman with a difficult husband. He cheated on her or mistreated her, at least verbally, or has a bad temper. It is an example. It may also be a husband with a screaming, shouting wife. She makes her life bitter, or parents with a teenager son who is difficult to live with. Okay. This lady believes in Jesus, goes to Mass, Catholic, and this lady says to the Lord every day, for you, Jesus, for you. You have carried your cross for me. Actually, it was not your cross, but it was mine. You have carried your for me, and I want to carry mine for you. This lady meets her husband, who is still the same. There is a little chance that he will change. The one who is not the same is she. The relief comes. Why has relief occurred? Because she has done it for Christ, for you, Jesus. For you, Jesus, out of gratitude to you. That is where the relief comes from. Or putting it in another way, Jesus takes up your cross, the difficult husband, the impossible wife, the complicated children, you name it. The Lord takes up your cross, make it His own. It is His cross. It is His cross. When He was crucified, He took up Him all the pain, sins, sufferings of all men. That was the dreadful cross that crushed Him, and not only the wooden cross. Therefore, the Lord has made all our crosses His own. Now, He says to you, quote, take up my cross, end quote. But it's the same cross I had. Yes, but it's no longer yours. Now it's mine, says Jesus. I carried the difficult husband. I carried those complicated children. Now it is my cross. I have carried it. Now I invite you to take it out of love for me. I invite you to accept it again. It is yours. Make it yours again. When the woman with the complicated husband says, for you, Jesus, she is accepting a cross that was hers, but later belonged to Christ, and that the Lord invites us to accept it again. And when she accepts it, it is no longer she alone who carries it. Just as the Syrian put his shoulders to carry the cross of Christ without taking all the weight from Christ, so does Christ. He puts His shoulders to carry our cross without taking all the weight from us. We have to be able to say, for you, Jesus, for you. How many people have benefited from this over the years? For a long time now, I insist on this, for you, Jesus. Out of gratitude to you, out of love for you, give me strength, Lord, which I don't have. Ease my burden, Lord, which I cannot bear. Make it yours, and I, for your sake, will make it mine again. Make it yours. I don't want this burden, but if it is your burden, for love of you, I will make it mine again. For you, Jesus, for the love of Jesus, out of gratitude to you, Jesus, I am willing to be like this all my life, just to be with you, because this burden now brings me to you. In this cross now, I find you, for you, Jesus, and for love of you. This is not an adverse need. This is fulfilled. Anyone can experience it. Many of us experience it every day. The difficult coexistence, illness, financial problems, social problems. For you, Jesus, out of love for you, out of gratitude to you, and where we can no longer go on, we find His strength to go on. The Catholic is now a child of the culture of death. As St. Paul II said, he is not someone who flees. He is a child of the culture of life. He is someone who confronts. He is someone who does not give up. He is someone who gets up when he falls. Not because he's Superman, because Superman does not exist. He draws his strength from the encounter with Christ. For you, Jesus, out of gratitude to you, Jesus, for love out of you, all my life. Amen.